Hi guys, how are you doing? It's your boy Dave Partner. The Ooni of Ife was recently interviewed. Well, I must confess I'm not sure of the date of this interview, but he was interviewed and he explained that in the spiritual realm, the the Igbo race is the custodian of wealth in the whole world. All right, he said anything that has to do with wealth and commerce, that the Igbo race were the ones that were given the mantle to carry. And he said that the Jews came from the Igbo race, not the other way around. That people make the mistake of thinking that the Igbos came from the Jews. He said no, it's the other way around. That the Igbos, the Yorubas, and the Jews, everyone was staying together in Central Africa or something in the past before the Jews started migrating out clockwise. All right. So he explained that, and I'll play the video to you now. But before I play the video, remember that if this is the first time you're watching any of my videos, click the red subscribe button below. There's a red button below this place I'm moving my mouse. You'll see it there. It is written subscribe. Click on it once so that anytime I make a new video, you will be the first to get a notification. All right. Okay, now that we're done, let me play the things for you.
For creation of humanity, it has been like that in terms of celebration of wealth. But to the glory of God, a particular race actually discovered it first. And the truth be told, the race that first discovered prosperity and wealth, and they really nurtured it, are the Igbo race. The Igbos first discovered it through their ancestral background. The lineage of Obatala discovered the prosperity and wealth in terms of the divinity world. And that's the reason why today the race of Igbo people, they're very, very particular, and they have very good expertise when it comes to commerce. They are very distinct all over the world. There is no place in the world that you will go that you will find an Igbo man. And the same goes with the Jews. There is this mistake that the world usually make. They make this mistake that the Igbos came from the Jews. No, it is the other way around. The truth be told, the first human race that existed was the Igbos before the Jews. And we were all living together at the center of tropical rainforest, part of the whole thing, the land of expansion. We were all living together as one big happy family before they started moving clockwise. They started moving towards the eastern part of the world, where they started settling. So the race of the Jews and the Igbos are very similar, but the Igbos are way older than the Jews. They are both commercially driven. They are both enterprise in nature. They are both driven by wealth, because that in Nigerian economy today and the entire black race, if you don't give honor to the Igbos in terms of commerce and trade, you are just deceiving yourself. So the truth be told, let us go back to our history, where we all came from. Ideally, the Igbos are supposed to join us to celebrate this festival, because it belongs to them and the entire human race and the Yoruba race. We are just the custodian, because at some point we are all living together here. So let us realize what connects us.
Alright, so what do you guys think about what he said, and saying that in the spiritual realm the Igbos control wealth? I'd like to understand your own perspective. Now, what I've realized is that some of these kingdoms, they have some certain spiritual explanations for the things that go on, or the way the world economy runs. And to me, it's very fascinating. For instance, the other day, I saw an Edo man that went to the museum, all right? He went to museum in the UK, and he was seeing some Benin artifacts in the museum, and the guy was really offended. It was like this, British people stole this thing some 100, 200 years ago from our kingdom, and why haven't they returned it? But his explanation of why that hasn't happened is what baffled me. Not baffled now, I mean amazed me. All right, he had a spiritual explanation as to why their powerful gods are trapped in the museum. You know, if a god is powerful, it should be able to rescue itself from the museum. You know what I'm saying? So how can you trap a full god in a glass, museum glass in the UK? So, but his explanation was that there are two kingdoms in the world. All right, according to, I don't know if I'm 100% correct, but that's what I understood from what he said. So you Edo people should clear us on that. So he said that there are two kingdoms in the world, the Benin Kingdom and the kingdom of the UK or Europe, or the British kingdom, all right, the kingdom of the Queen. He said that the Benin Kingdom has reigned from time immemorial until the point the kingdom of the British came, all right. He said that this period is the period of the reign of the British Kingdom, that after the reign of the British Kingdom, that the Benin Kingdom will rise again, all right. So within the time the British Kingdom is reigning, that they have the power to withhold or contain the Benin gods. All right, that's what I understood from his explanation. But once that their time of reign ends, they can no longer contain that. All right, that those gods will be arise again or something like that. So I understood that looking back, that was a plausible explanation to narrate, or to explain why a whole powerful Benin Kingdom fell to the British invasion. All right, so it kind of makes sense at the end of the day that if you know how powerful the Benin Kingdom was then, in the ancient scheme of things, let me say 200 years ago, if you know how powerful, I read history, man. If you see, the people were traveling from Saudi Arabia. You understand? People will travel from Saudi Arabia to bring gifts to the king of Benin. Do you know how many years journey it is on camelback? Because that time they don't have cars and planes. So imagine that king knowing that there is a king far away in West Africa. Say, take this gold, take this silver. You understand, my servant, go and take to him and greet him for me. So they had a trade route from Benin to the north, from the north to through the Sahara Desert. It crosses over to Saudi Arabia. So from what I read then, they had this trade route. So the Benin Kingdom was very powerful. In fact, the wall, the fence, the wall that the Benin Kingdom built is said to be the largest man-made object visible from space. That's how powerful it is. It's bigger than the wall, the Great Wall of China, the wall of Benin Kingdom. But guess what? When the British invaded and conquered the Benin Kingdom, they got all the Benin soldiers that fought there, converted them to slaves, and used them to destroy that wall. You understand? So they started bringing down those walls. They said even after all those destruction, you can still see that wall from space. If you're in outside space, you can still see those Benin walls. That's how huge it was. So when they fell to the British invasion, there was only one possible plausible explanation, and that is that this is the period where the British Kingdom has to reign. Once they are done with their reign, the Edo Kingdom will rise again. So that's the way I understood what he said. And since I'm not knowledgeable in that area, I'm not from Benin, you people should explain better whether I got it right or wrong. Alright, if I got something wrong, I beg, no vex. Please give us a better explanation in the comment section below. So now we're seeing this Ooni of Ife doing his own explanation as to why the Igbo people are, entrepreneur. And he said the truth that everywhere you go in the world, you will see Igbo man. Anywhere there's commerce in the world, you will see an Igbo man. Anywhere, go point it. You understand? Igbo is predominantly Christian, but now if you go to Igbo land, you see Muslims. Igbo guys that are Muslims that have never left Igbo land. You understand? Even if you go to north, you see Igbo guys that are Muslims that are there. You understand? So anywhere you go in the world, you see Igbo guys doing business. So now his explanation of that is that the Igbos are the custodian of wealth in the spiritual or divinity realm. You understand? And now science has exposed a lot to us. I know that so many people have not caught up, especially, let me say, Christians in quotes, Nigerian Christians, not all Christians, okay? Nigerian Christians. There are so many of us that have not caught up to science. Science has exposed that the first type of human beings to appear on this planet are blacks, and they appeared in Africa. All right, the human being species we have now is Homo sapiens. All the human beings on Earth now are Homo sapiens, but there were other types of humans then. There were Homo neanderthals. There's Homo florensis. You know, different types of human species. The way you have a species of dogs, we had species of human beings, but all those other species died out. Okay, now the only one that's remaining is Homo sapiens. Now inside Homo sapiens, you have people that have morphological differences like Caucasoids, you have Negroids. So we are Negroids. So they said Negroids appeared first. Black man appeared first on this planet 200,000 years ago. That was when the current human beings appeared. This human species, Homo sapiens. Alright, science has discovered is no longer debatable. This is evidence now. But some people still believe that Israelis are not Negroids. I think they are Caucasoids or something. You understand? So they are not black people. So some people believe that the first human beings appeared in Eden, and Eden is in Israel, or was it in Iraq? Because the river Euphrates, there were 4 rivers in Eden. One of them, so all those 4 rivers exist in Iraq now: Tigris, Euphrates, and so on. All right. So Eden was around that area, and the people around that area are not blacks. You get, the people around that area are not Negroids. You understand? So human beings used to be black. According to science, human beings used to be black until about 40,000 years ago, when human beings went out. Homo sapiens, black people left Africa. They passed through Egypt, entered Saudi Arabia, Israel side, and met another species of human being called Homo neanderthals. So when they mated, that is, they had sex, at the end of the day, they produced white people, because those other species were white in color, but they were not exactly like Homo sapiens. So when Homo sapiens mated with them, they produced produced white people, white skinned Homo sapiens with hair flowing. Till today, if you test white men, you see that they have 4%. Their DNA contains 4% of Homo neanderthals. That is that extinct human species. You understand? All other species on Earth contain 2 to 4% of an extinct human species, except black people. It's only black people that have their blood pure. Black people are 100% Homo sapiens. But white guys, Chinese guys have Homo florensis. Homo florensis is short. So that explains why Chinese guys are short. Alright? They mated, that was Homo sapiens that left Africa. That is, black people left Africa and mated with some other species of human beings that they saw there. The species that was there was Homo florensis. So Homo florensis are short with tiny eyes. So they produce Homo sapiens, 98%, 97% Homo sapiens with 3 to 4% Homo florensis. But if you test a black man has 100% Homo sapiens. You understand? So it is proven beyond every reasonable doubt that blacks were the first to appear on this planet. But some people still believe that Adam or whatever appeared in Eden and is white. Then from then, God in the Bible beget Eri. Eri is now the black man. Now that is spiritual belief, all right, according to Christianity. But according to science that has been proven beyond every reasonable doubt, it is the black man that appeared first. So why I'm saying this is because what I'm saying is
time immemorial.
Why I'm saying this is because so many people mix up spirituality and reality. All right, you believe in something and something being scientifically real or scientifically proven are two different things. Okay, you might believe that let's say heaven is in the clouds there, but the day you enter an airplane and get into the cloud, you see that there are no angels walking on that cloud. All right, so if you mix up those two, you will run into problem. For instance, if you believe you can walk on water versus science that proves that a human being cannot just walk on water, you need some aid, right? You need to satisfy the laws of nature before you can walk on water. You need something called buoyancy. You need to obey the laws of buoyancy, upthrust. You understand, surface tension, all these things. You need to factor it into an equipment that you'll build that will help you to walk on water. But if you mix those two, you run into problem because you might find yourself trying to walk on water because spiritually you believe it, and you will sink. It has happened to several pastors, all right, especially Kenyan pastors. They like to walk on water. Even in Nigeria here, there was this man called Daniel, a pastor. He went to University of Ibadan. That university has a zoo. He now told the zoo that they should, that he wants to, that God told him to go and talk to the lion, all right, that his name is Daniel. The zoo told him to go and get permission from the VC. He wrote, and the VC gave him permission. If God told you, we can't stop you. This man jumped into the lion cage, and lion tore him to pieces. Before they could rescue him, the lion has eaten. Hungry lion, you know Nigerian zoo now, they know they feed the lion. Tear the man into pieces is real. So you can Google it to read more about Pastor Daniel that was eaten in Ibadan in Nigeria. Alright, so because he was mixing up reality with a spiritual belief system, you should know when to draw a line. And according to Christianity, Daniel was able to shut down the lions, and those lions couldn't eat him. Alright? Those lions couldn't eat him because they know him or whatever, or it was just written there because of the power of God that was in Daniel. The lions couldn't eat him. Okay? But guess what? He tried to practice it in reality. You get? So whenever you're having some spiritual belief, you should be careful, knowing that the reality might be different in some cases, alright? So that you don't overstep boundaries and cause yourself some harm. Just like somebody that went and brought juju and put inside his vehicle and said that his vehicle can never have accidents. So he goes on the highway and is overspeeding. See, my brother, the day it will happen, it will just do you for eye like that. You get? So even though you have your juju in your car and you believe that nothing can happen to you, you should still drive carefully because now you are operating on a physical realm. Alright? So thank you very much. I hope I've explained it very well. And of course, you have the right to disagree because this is a spiritual issue. Let me know which points you have. Alright? Do you believe what the Oba of Benin said? That the Igbos are the custodian of wealth. Alright? And the question is, if the Igbos are the custodian of wealth, why is Bill Gates not an Igbo man? Now we're talking about Dangote, the richest black man, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about Dan Tata or $10 before you start counting some Igbos. Alright? So generally I believe that Igbos are the best in commerce, alright? When it comes to everything. In fact, all nations of the world, I think Igbos can be seen everywhere. That is very true. But when it comes to wealth itself, Igbos can generally be very wealthy, but individually, I think the richest people on earth are not Igbos. The richest people on earth, sorry to surprise you guys, are Jews. Jewish people are the richest people on earth. This YouTube that you're watching is owned by Google, and the founders of Google are Jews. The founders of Facebook is a Jew, Mark Zuckerberg. The founder of Microsoft is a Jew, and so on and so forth.
Expensive.